back to my channel. My name is Imani, and in this episode we're going to be talking about how to become a graphic designer without going to school, part 2. But this version is going to be the pros and cons to doing so. My first video that I made is actually going over pretty much my experience and how you can become a graphic designer. So make sure you guys go watch that one. I will link it in the description below. So if you're interested in hearing the pros and cons, stay tuned. So let's go ahead and get into the cons. My number one con to not going to school to become a graphic designer is you won't have the guidance of a teacher or a mentor, as some people would say. There is some downside to doing this. Obviously, if you have a teacher, you have someone that has a lot of experience in the field, and when you have, certain problems that you have with your project, they'll be able to pretty much guide you in the right direction to making it look more successful or clean or professional, whatever the look is going to be. So that is a definite con, but you could also find other people in your area or actually find a mentor to help you out with those things. Number 2, you may miss out on the opportunity of getting an internship. When I went to school, I believe our second semester, they had a list of different internships that, were taking in students. And of course, they came in an interview. That does look really good on your resume if you can get an internship. So that is very beneficial. You don't have to go to an internship because, of course, it was very limited to the amount of students that we had on how many students they could choose for each one. But it does look good because it's considered real world experience because you're dealing with a real company. So number 3 is going to be making new friends. Now, I put this on the con list because when you're in school, of course, you're going to make new friends. But when you're in a field like graphic design, you're around a lot of other creative people that more than likely will have very similar, personalities as yourself. I would consider myself a little awkward and weird sometimes, and there were a lot of other people as such. So we got along really good. I'm glad I met them, and I don't regret any moment of that. But I think that is very important to your success as being a graphic designer. But that is something that you would be missing out on if you chose not to go to school. Not to say that you can't make friends on your own, but you will have to network and put yourself in that position to actually make new friends. But you could also meet these new friends by going to maybe like a small business center in your area if they're teaching classes like this, or even workshops that they have in your area. But again, you will have to kind of put yourself in that position to meet these new people. So the next one is you will be missing out on financial aid. This really helped me out when I was in school. I would definitely say this is a con because if you are able to get financial aid, you do have extra money that you could put towards buying, some of your equipment, buying the programs. I definitely used the extra money that I got after I went to my classes and everything to help me purchase my computer and help me purchase the programs, which obviously goes towards helping your success. So it is definitely a con. You could always take out like a loan or something like that, but with financial aid, of course, you don't have to pay that back. So that is a huge con that you will be missing out on. So the next one is going to be, it would possibly be harder to find a job in your area without having a degree. And not having a degree won't determine your success, but if you are planning to get a job or work for somebody else, depending on what type of business it is, a lot of places do look for you to have at least a 4-year degree. There are some places that will hire you if you just have a associate's, but that will determine how much you make. So of course, if you have, a 4-year degree, you're going to be making more than someone that only has an associate's. So it's going to be the same thing if you don't have a degree. They will probably look at that like, okay, this person doesn't have the proper training, but that doesn't mean you can't get the job, or you can definitely negotiate your pay. That is something that a lot of people don't know that you can do. But if you can showcase your work and your skill effectively, you could definitely get a job. I know a few people that have done it, but it is going to be a little bit harder when you're going against someone that does have that official document. So I guess you can consider this a con. It really just depends on your mindset. You will be doing a lot of solo learning. So with this, you don't have, obviously a teacher to give you the structure of these projects are due when, this needs to look like that. Everything is on you. You don't have anybody telling you when to come in, when to go to school, when to start work, when to post, if, as far as like a website or anything like that. Everything is on your own. So you really have to be disciplined enough to sit down and do these trainings on your own or play with the programs on your own to develop your skill. So some people would consider that to be a con, because if you are not disciplined enough to do it on your own, it is considered a con. So you definitely have to work on your mental state and how bad you want it in order to be successful at doing this by yourself. But it definitely is possible. You just have to, work on that mindset and get it strong enough and tell yourself that you want it bad enough to where you can do it by yourself without having someone tell you to do it. So I kind of touched on this maybe like 2 or 3 points ago, but not having a degree definitely can determine how much money you make if you work for a big company. These big companies want the documents. They want to see associates, or they want to see bachelor's degrees. If you go to Indeed.com and type in graphic design in your area, you're gonna see the requirements. A lot of them are asking for, bachelor's degree in communication or advertising and graphic design plus 6 years of experience. I feel like with that, a lot of time the requirements are a little outrageous, based on how much money they're going to pay you. But I get it though. They want you to, know exactly what you're doing coming in, and them not have to babysit you and teach you how to do things that you should already know. I get it, but it is a little bit harder for people that are just coming out of school or just coming into it that want jobs. So if you do plan on working for somebody else and not go to school, definitely make sure you practice and you understand everything that you would possibly need to know. There's the internet, it's full of information, and you're really gonna have to work hard in that interview to prove to them that you deserve it more than somebody that went to school. And just because if you choose not to go to school, doesn't mean that the person that did go to school has more knowledge than you, because school does not teach you everything that you need to know. So the more research that you do on your own, the better off you'll be if you choose to do that. But like I said, it will determine your pay if you choose to work with somebody else. But there are other things that you can do to replace that income, like freelance work. So I will be doing a video on that later on in the future, but we're just gonna stick to this for now. So that is the end of the list for all the cons. I hope all of that was helpful. So let's get into the pros. So the number one pro, you will be saving a lot of money. So with going to school, especially if you choose to go to a university first, there are so many expenses that come with going to school. You have tuition. Now, if you are not getting financial aid, of course it's going to be higher. I don't have any exact numbers because it does vary from state to state, but you have tuition, food, your dorm. If you're not staying on campus, you have, rent, which is a lot higher than most people would expect for students. But I mean, it is what it is. And what I feel like is the most expensive, even though it's not, are books. Prices of books are so ridiculous. One of the most expensive books that I purchased for graphic design was maybe $150, if not that. Ask me how many times we opened that book. Opened it all of maybe twice. And it is very upsetting when you have to pay all of this money for these books and you never really open them. Now, I will say the books that we use for like Illustrator and Photoshop, we did use only because it had the step-by-step on how to learn how to use the program. Other than that, we didn't use it. And then what makes it even worse, when you try to go back and resell the books, they only want to give you like $10, $12. That book I spent $150 on, I tried to go back and resell it to the person that sold it to me, like the bookstore, and they were like, oh yeah, we can give you like $10 for it. For that price, I can just keep the book myself. And that's exactly what I did. I still don't use it, and I've never really had to use it. I'm sure it's full of great information, but all in all, having to deal with the books and them not wanting to at least take them back and having to spend so much money on them is definitely a waste. But like I said, if you're not going to school, this is a pro. You'll be saving a lot of money. But like I said, you'll definitely be saving a lot of money on all of these things if you choose not to go to school. There are classes that you can take online, or you can just teach yourself. A lot of people do that as well. But having classes to kind of guide you in the right direction, if you have no idea where to start, it'll definitely help you. I did talk about that in my last video, which again is linked in the description. So the second pro is you'll be gaining a lot of real world experience. So if you are teaching yourself how to do this, all the projects that you plan on doing for your portfolio, you will have to come up with yourself. And now I think about it, I will actually do a video that will show you where you can get good ideas from, but that'll be in the next one. But yeah, everything you do is gonna be real world experience. If you are teaching yourself how to become a graphic designer and learn how to do logos, there are websites you can use to post your portfolio that you have so far to gain clients. Fiverr is a really good website that you can go to for starters. You can charge, I would say if you're starting out and you don't know everything, start with low prices, but these are real people that need projects, and you can put this in your portfolio. So if you do choose to work for somebody else, everything in your portfolio is going to be real world experience. A lot of these companies, if you want to work with them, if you tell them that you want to work with them, they're going to ask you, okay, what real world experience do you have? And if you're just coming out of school, you're kind of like, I don't have much because I've been in school, which is kind of ridiculous to me, but that kind of tells you something right there. If these places are looking for that, like they either expect you to do these things while you're in school, or they much rather see a portfolio that's different versus seeing the same projects over and over. So I pretty much touched on my next point and my last one. So you can be doing freelance work while you're learning. So again, I talked about Fiverr.com. I'll pull up what the website looks right here. You can, as you're learning, if you're learning how to do logos first, you can post all of the logos that you do on this website. I would say start with low prices because you're new to this. Like I said, you'll be building your portfolio as you learn. So if you learn how to cut out photos in Photoshop, you can put on Fiverr, cut out photos. People will pay you for that because there are a lot of people that don't know how to do these things. And it's really not hard. If you teach yourself simple stuff, you can be gaining money while you learn. So definitely do that. It is a big pro. You're building your portfolio and you're getting paid and you're learning how to do something. You can't lose. You just can't. Like I said, you will be building your portfolio as you put yourself out there. I say for everything that you do, create an Instagram for it. You can put it on your personal if you have more followers, but I would say try to move, if you're trying to be more professional, try to move your stuff to a different Instagram page or Twitter, whatever you choose to use. That way it looks more professional, especially if you're looking to get a job with someone else. But yeah, definitely promote on yours because you already have the followers. That's what I did with mine. I started posting like logos here and there, and I'm like, hey, if you guys are interested, you need some help with your business, go follow this page. Of course, it's still my page, but because I have these many followers, if they're really interested and they like the work, they're gonna go follow the page and they're gonna DM you or email you or however you have it set up to where they can contact you. There are tons of tutorials online and you can use them in your portfolio. I would just be a little careful with that because if it's already up and posted, if it's just a logo, try to make it different. So if someone is showing you a tutorial on how to make an ice cream cone, try to do maybe like a popsicle instead, just so it's different, but you're still doing the tutorial the same way, if that makes sense. So my next point is going to be you will be gaining independence. Of course, with you doing this by yourself, everything that you do is going to be on you. You're going to be doing it on your own. But this is a good thing because this will actually teach you how to put yourself out there if you really want this business. Whether you go to small business center classes, which I think is a great place to go to start. I say that because if you go to the small business center, if you have one in your area, there are other people that are there that are looking to start a business. if you learn how to do this, you can go in there and pass out your business cards or show them your Instagram, whatever you're using, and get that business. Because you're fairly new, of course you don't have to put it out there that you're new. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd just be like, hey, I am a graphic designer. This is what I do. I heard that you were trying to start this. You can get that business. Like, you know, especially if they don't know where to start, there's clients out the wazoo. And if you go to all those classes, you'll be learning how to do certain things yourself as well as getting clients. So, like I said, all in all, you will have to be more independent, which is a good look because it'll either help you out if you choose to work for yourself in the future. You'll know how to approach clients by practicing, or even reaching out to these people on a day-to-day basis to get business. So also with being independent, you are able to have your own style, you know, be as creative as you want to be, and you don't have the influence of a teacher telling you how your portfolio should look. I think this is a very great point because when I was in school, of course, you know, we all got to be creative, but certain projects, you have so many people working on it, your style is kind of influenced by other students, especially like with the teacher as well. If you tell them, you know, hey, I really like this idea. There were a few projects where I got like, that's okay, but change this, this, and this, and this. Because they're going based on their own experience, which is a good and a bad thing. A good thing if it's going to help it look more professional. A bad thing if they're just telling you because that's what they prefer. But I mean, I guess, and the same thing is going to be if you are working for somebody else, they're always going to tell you what they prefer over anything else. You know, everything is based on opinion. And then also with being independent and not going to school, like I said, you'll be able to create all of your own projects. You know, if you go into a job and let's just say there's 3 other people that just came out of school. If they just so happen to go to the same school, all of their portfolios are probably going to look the same. And a lot of big, you know, companies don't want to see the same project as the last one. So that right there is going to tell them that they just came out of school. If they see, you know, 3 people that came in that have food truck ads, they're going to be like, okay, this is not original, only because they've seen it from other people. So I believe that's why a lot of places do ask for real world experience, because they don't want to see the same project. So if you choose not to go to school, like I said, you'll be able to pick all of your own projects, which will be very different than other people that come in. I know when I went to school, of course, you get to see the students before you, like the class before you, their second year, because I only did a 2-year community college. So you'll be able to go in the classes every now and then, and you can see what projects they're working on. And then when I became a second year and the new students came in, they were doing the exact same projects as us. Now, I did notice that the teachers did pull out maybe 1 or 2 different projects and switched it up. But all in all, everybody's portfolio is going to look the same in the sense of what type of project should be in there. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I say it's a good thing because they're going to pick out projects that are different or that hit every category, like brochure, flyer, logo. All of those things are definitely beneficial in your portfolio, but it's also a bad thing because it's the exact same project as everybody else in the class. So with you being independent, you get to choose whatever you want to do. It's your portfolio, and if you're being a freelancer, it really doesn't even matter, because if you're specifically wanting to learn how to do logos, your portfolio can only be logos. That's completely up to you. I advise that you do some of everything, but if that's what you really want to focus on, I say just go for that. And my very last pro that I will be talking about in this video is you will get to create your own schedule and move at whatever pace you choose to. Of course, not everybody moves at the same pace. Some people may be a little bit more excited about it, so they're going to try to get in as many hours as possible, or learn as much as possible, and that's cool. Certain things are not as easy to learn in these programs, and you get to move at your own pace. If you choose to purchase a video that's going to teach you how to do all of this, you can rewind and redo it until you absolutely get it, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But of course, if you're you have kids or you work a full-time job, you get to choose when you want to, work on these projects and build your portfolio. Of course, with going to school, you have to be there at certain times of the day for X amount of hours. If not, you're going to miss something. Some of these classes, I will say, when I went to school, classes were like 3 or 4 hours long. And I think that is mainly because it was a community college and you have to get those hours in. But the time really goes by fast because, you're around a lot of people that you like, they're creative just like you, and you're working on stuff all day. But like I said, the pros to this, you get to choose your own hours, you get to choose your own pace that you want to, and yeah, it's a good thing. So that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed creating this video. I kind of like these style of videos for graphic designers, especially if you are looking into becoming one. If there are any videos, suggestions or anything that you guys want to hear me talk about, definitely leave a comment below and I will make a video for it if it's something that I have experience in myself, or I'll just do the research for you and make a video. But please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. I will be making more videos like this, so please stay tuned. So again, my name is Imani. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.